Hi guys and welcome to my channel. My name is Teresa and I'm the Carbootcrafter and I'm coming on today with another Christmas project. I love this time of year. There's so much to do, so many preps, so many new crafts to try. So this time it's these cute little stars. Now I'll be showing you how to make the star, but you can decorate it any which way you want or leave it plain. I've chosen to decorate them and I think I'm probably going to put them in the windows this year with the fairy lights, just to and just add that extra something. So this is the star, and it is so simple to do. It really is easy, but I think really effective, even when you don't decorate them up like I have. Right, let me show you how to make it and what I've used. Pop that over there out the way. So you'll need 5 pieces of square paper. You can use cards because it's a simple sort of origami fold, but it's, whatever comes to hand. I'm using this origami super stack just because they're really easy to fold papers, and they're all very square. I know they're very square when I use them, so I'm using that. So I'll show you twice the fold, but I've already got some I've prepped earlier. You'll need, as I said, 5 sheets of square paper or thin card. The first thing you're going to do is fold it in half. It's often the first fold you do with these origami cards, isn't it? Fold it in half like that. Then I'm going to use my bone folder, but if you haven't got one, it doesn't matter. I'm just used to using a bone folder when I fold papers. Then you're going to open it out again. And then what you want to do is to take one of the edges, so I'm going to use that one, and you're going to roll it and line it up with this fold that you've just made. Let me just put a pencil line in the middle there so you can see where it is. Oh, I don't know whether that's any better. Right, that's approximately where it is. That's not, my hand's not very steady drawing straight lines. So so I'm going to take this edge and I'm going to line it up with that crease mark there. What I want to do is aim for a sharp point at this end. So rolling it is the easiest way. I'm just going to pop my nail at the top there and roll it. Now we don't want to go over the crease line. We just want to go to, or just before, whichever you are most comfortable with. So, and again, I'm using my bone folder, but again, you don't need to. Then I'm going to take the other side, the opposite side, so this one here, and I'm going to do exactly the same. I'm just going to roll it over. I'm going to pop my finger there just to help it roll again. A nice sharp point on it. And line that up. Not too close to the other one if you can. Just got a very small gap there. And then line that down. And again, I'm using my bone folder just to sharpen up those creases. Then what we want to do is to bring this point over, and we want to create a crease line just above where these papers are here. So I'm just going to bring it over like that. I'm going to aim for the point to meet where these papers meet. So somewhere along there, but then make sure that these corners are nice and sharp as well. Like that. There we go. So that's what we've done. We've just brought that paper over like that, and my crease mark is just inside there, so I haven't bent over these papers. Like that. And again, I've used my bone folder. And then what we want to do is, we've got this piece here. I want to bring this point down and line up this edge with that centre crease mark again. You can't see it, unfortunately, and even with the lighter paper you won't be able to see it very well on the camera, but you can see it when you're actually doing it. So this, we're going to bring this corner down. I'm going to pop my nail there just so we don't go beyond. And actually what happens is this point lines up with this point here. So our point of that paper's comes across, and we're just going to line that up like that. And again, nice crease mark because we're going through several layers of paper there. Do apologise, I've got a cold and a bit of a cough on me. These winter bugs are hitting again this year, aren't they? So I'm going to do exactly the same. I'm going to pop my nail there, bring this down, move this point to round about the same place as that one is, making sure I'm lining up and almost joining that piece there. And then I'm going to crease that as well. So what we end up with is a kite shape with those two that come down and meet in the middle like that. So we've used that centre crease line, the first crease line we do, we've used that all the way through. Now what we're going to do is just open these two wings up. So those last two folds, open them up like that. And you'll find you've got a sort of a square in the middle there with that crease down the middle. And we're going to put some glue on either side of that. So let me grab my glue and just going along that, that sort of a square. Now what you don't want is to go over, because we're going to create a little pocket inside. So just fold those back over, and I use my bone folder just to push the glue into the papers like that. When I say a little pocket, there's the little pocket inside. It will just pop up like that, and that's exactly what we want it to do. And that's why we have to be careful not to go beyond that sort of square, because we don't want to glue this together, and you'll see why in a minute. So I'm just going to pop that one to one side while it dries, and I'll show you the fold just one more time, and I'll do it a little bit quicker this time. So straight over, point to point, and we're going to do that and reinforce that score line. Open it up, and we're going to bring our corner, so this edge, down to line up with that crease mark that we've just made, and try and have a nice crisp point at this end like that. Don't go over the crease mark, because that just makes life a little bit more difficult for yourself later on. Don't go over the crease mark, but get as close as you can. And then the same on this side, bringing it across, lining it up. I find rolling the paper before committing to the crease really helps. And there we go, there's our crease. And then we're bringing this piece over like that, lining up the point of this piece with that crease mark there where the two papers join, to get a nice straight line. Try and make sure that that's all nice and sharp. If it's not, as you can see, this point's not exactly sharp, but it's fine. It'll still work. It's not an issue. Once we've got to that point, we're going to bring this point, or not quite as pointed as it would have been, but we can still bring it over and fold it along that crease line in the middle on this piece. So we've got that crease line there, line it up, and those 2 points, so this point here and this point here, should more or less meet. If it's a little bit off, don't worry, it doesn't affect your fold. And the same with this side, bringing that point across, don't go over the initial score line, and that sort of lines up with the bottom of that piece that's inside there, this point there, they sort of line up. And then you've got this sort of square shape going on there, and that's where we're going to lay down our glue. If we put it on here, if it goes over, then you're going to glue it all together, and that won't then give us that little pocket that we need for the next part of our project. Okay, I'm not being too picky or pernickety about how the glue goes in there. Okay, and we end up again with this strange shape. So those are the two I've just done, and these are the ones I did earlier in a true Blue Peter style. So there's 1, 2, oh gosh, I've had some glue leakage, I think. Oh, yeah, there we go, that's come out easy enough. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Okay, so I'm going to leave those to one side to dry a little bit more while I work on these 3 first of all. So what you're going to do is you're going to grab your first one and you're going to fold it on that angle like that. And it wants to go, it's quite happy to go like that. So we've opened it up, we've got sort of like a little boat thing going on, and we've flattened it along the triangle like that. What you will notice is that you've got a little triangular shape up this end like that, and we're going to glue that. So we're going to put some glue on that, but before I do, I'm just going to do the same with the next one. So we take it in pieces, so one at a time, and flatten that out. And now I'm going to put glue on that triangle, just the one side. I'm not going to do this side yet, just the one side of that triangle. So putting glue just sort of along the edges and a bit in the middle just to hold it. And I'm going to flatten that back down, and then I'm going to line this up on top. So I'm going to put my points together and make sure that's nice and straight. So I'm using my board just to make sure those edges are straight. And again, bringing my bone folder in just to push that glue into that paper. And you start to see your star emerging. So that's the first 2. So again, I'm going back, and the top one, finding that little triangular shape again. And I'm just going to put the glue back, another bit of glue on there. So I try to go around all the edges and a little bit in the middle. Bringing this one over and to flatten that down as well to give us that long triangular shape. I'm going to flip it over because that's the side that matches, and then I'm going to pop it together. So point to point, bring it across, and again I'm using my mat to make sure all those lines are all lined up like that. Lay it flat, and I'll bring my bone folder in, pushing the glue into the paper again. And if I open it out, you can see our star is definitely starting to emerge there. So let's bring the next one over, which is the one I did a few minutes ago. Lay it flat. Now, if you've not been, you know, if things haven't been as accurate or your paper's ever so slightly out, it might fight you a little bit. That's all right. Don't worry about it. It just gives a bit more character to your star. You can still carry on. You can still add it. Looking for that triangle shape. Putting my glue on. Like that. And then I'm going to line this up. So make sure that it's pointing the same way, that my openings are both on the same side. Line up those points, and again pick it up using my mat to make sure that's all straight on there, so that we end up with a nice symmetrical star. And then the last one, let's bring that in, lay that flat, fold it down a little bit, flip it over as we find our next triangle, put some glue on there, and once we've done that, I'm just going to line everything up like that. And again, use whatever I got to hand, so basically my cutting mat, to make sure that that's all straight like that. Okay, and that's it, almost done. So let me move my glue out of the way and I can show you. So if we open it up like that, you now have your star shape. Now what you can do is, and what I've done with the other one is, I've glued along the one edge there, glued along that triangle again, as we did earlier. So I found that triangle, glued it, brought it round, pulled them together like that, and held them while the glue holds and glues that in place. And then I have a static star shape. But what you could do is, if you preferred, you could put a little catch, or even run your string, your baker's twine, through the two of them, and then when you pull it together it'll hold it. But I'm going to glue it because these are going to be one and dones for me. I've got plenty of that paper, so I'm not going to be too bothered if after Christmas I can't store them, so they end up in the bin. But if you wanted to keep them, if you'd use some of your favourite papers, then you could think about, you know how you do with the shop bought ones. They've got a little bit of twine that goes through there and holds them together, and that's how you hang them up. So I prefer to hang them by the points, so I'm just going to bring in that, and let's do a hole right in the point there. And I have got some, let me just grab some twine, and we can use that to hang our Christmas star up. So I'm just going to thread that through like that, pull those through, and I pop it behind so that it's out of the way. And you've just got those two little pieces there, which you could make a feature of if you want to. And there's another one of my stars done. So I'm going to decorate this one up as well. Probably using, I thought about using some jingle bells would be nice hanging from here at the top of the star. But also thought about some gingerbread men, maybe a glittery tree on there in the middle, maybe. What else have we got? I've got some gorgeous, I mean these are very, very glittery sleigh bells on there, or I could even use some of my snowflakes along there, or some bling. So I'm going to carry on. I'm going to make some more of these, and it's a great way to stash bust my origami stash, super stasher. Because they're all Christmas ones. I mean, there are some that could be used at other times of years, but there's lots of Christmas ones. So I'm quite happy to get a bit of stash busting going on with that that pack. I think it's about 500 pages on there. So I'm happy for these to be a one and done. Anyway, I think they're really cute. I think they're so easy, and look how quick that came together, and that was me taking my time. So yes, I will definitely be doing some more of these, probably a couple or three in each window, and probably different sizes as well, because it doesn't matter as long as your squares are all the same size. Anyway, I'm going to go and do some more of these, and hopefully get them in the window before the next video. So you take care, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye for now.